Now these are top of the line headlights here that incorporate everything that Morimoto stands behind, including technology, quality, compliance, styling, and of course, performance. Among many headlights, these are going to be some of the brightest headlights that you can get for your truck while still remaining legal. What's going on, Team Lethal fans? It's Joe here with Lethal Performance. Today, we've got a special package here from our friends over at Morimoto Lighting. And as you can see, it's a pretty big package here. This is going to be aimed directly toward the 09 to 14 F-150 owners. Even if you have the SVT Raptor or just a base model truck, these lights will work for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and crack open the package here and show you guys what Morimoto sent us out today. Alrighty, so now that I got them outside of the box here, you can clearly see that these are the all-new Morimoto XB Evo LED headlights for the 09 to 14 F-150, and that is including, like I said previously, the SVT Raptor. Now these are top-of-the-line headlights here that incorporate everything that Morimoto stands behind, including technology, quality, compliance, styling, and of course, performance. These headlights feature all-new optics that far exceed the IIHS standard for safety and still maintain their DOT and SAE compliance. So among many headlights, these are going to be some of the brightest headlights that you can get for your truck while still remaining legal. And that's all thanks to those dual Bi-LED projectors that Morimoto has installed in these units. Now, even though these headlights are among the brightest you can possibly get for your F-150 on the market currently, Morimoto does offer an optional supercharged driver kit, which is going to take the light output and bump it up 30 to 50% over what it currently comes with from Morimoto. Now, that is a huge increase, which means you are going to unfortunately lose your DOT legality with those supercharged drivers installed. However, if you're going to be doing a majority of off-roading with your truck, that's definitely going to be an option that you're going to want to get with these headlights. These headlights also feature customizable daytime running lights, where it gives you the option to run either an amber daytime running light or a white daytime running light. And they also give you the option for customizable turn signals, which allows you to either choose a standard blinking turn signal or get you a nice sequential pattern. Now, the customization of the daytime running light and the turn signal is super easy. It's all done through these plug-and-play modules here that we've actually already seen on the Gen 2 XB LED headlights that we had installed on our 2020 GT500, which used a very similar module to customize the function of the headlights, and we showcased off in that video as working very well. Now, to make things even brighter with these headlights, when the high beams are engaged, Morimoto has added in 2 of their one-banger NCS spotlight beams to basically help increase the light output even more. Now, if you guys haven't seen these one-banger LEDs before, they are extremely bright, especially when they're in a spotlight configuration. You're going to get some real distance out of your LED high beams, and that is going to be something that is another awesome feature of these headlights. Now, as you can see, this kit comes with everything you need to install these headlights on the truck and make it a plug-and-play install, regardless of whatever trim level of truck you have, whether it be a base model with halogen lights or a upper trim model like a Raptor or a Platinum truck where it has those xenon headlights. These headlights have been designed, engineered, and tested all here in the United States and have been made with the best quality materials and technology that's currently available to the market. They are backed by Morimoto's 5-year manufacturer's warranty and, of course, are a plug-and-play install that should work with every single trim model of 09 to 14 F-150. These headlights are going to be a huge upgrade over the current headlight situation on your truck, regardless of whether you still have the stock headlights or you actually have a previous generation of Morimoto XB series headlights on your truck already, like we do. These are still going to be a huge upgrade thanks to all of the new technology that they've implemented into these units. Now let's go ahead and get these puppies installed on our F-150 to show you guys the difference. Alrighty, so now that we're out here with our F-150, this one specifically is a 2012. Let's go ahead and get started with the install here by popping the hood. Bet there's not many 2012s out there that still have good hood struts on it. Now, lucky for us, this install is actually going to be pretty easy. All we have to do is remove a couple bolts here that are holding in the headlight to the truck, remove this push pin here that holds this trim piece to the actual headlight assembly itself, and then pop the headlight out, unplug the harness, put the new Morimoto XB series headlight in and run one wire to the fuse box. Now, this seems really simple, should be really simple, and it should only take us at the most about an hour. So let's go ahead and get started into it. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is remove this piece here by removing this push pin here using a Phillips head screwdriver. And with the screw all the way out, piece just wants to pop right out here. And there we go. Now we can easily and very carefully push this piece out of the way here. That gives us access here to this 10mm bolt that's going to allow us to remove the headlight. Now, using a 10mm socket and a ratchet, you're going to go ahead and remove these 3 bolts right here, the 2 up top, and then that one, like I said, we exposed there, removing this trim piece. Now, using a soft plastic pry tool here, we're going to get behind the headlight here, between the fender, give it a little bit of a pull back. Now, with the headlight freed up here, we can pull it out and start unplugging harnesses. Now we have the old headlight out. Now again, lucky for us, since we had the XB series headlights already installed on this truck, we already have the harness ran here for the daytime running lights. Now, obviously this isn't super difficult here, but it does save us a step on the install. Otherwise, if you didn't have this harness here, all you have to do is simply run it up through the chassis here, or through this little frame support piece here, and up to the fuse box, which just so happens to be located right on top of the radiator on this generation of trucks. Now, before we install these headlights onto the truck here, we're gonna go ahead and customize them a bit for our likings, or should I say for the owner's likings. We're gonna go ahead and change out this module here for a black module, which is going to change the daytime running lights to the amber color, and it's going to make the turn signals that sequential style. Now, as you just saw there, the modules are really easy to swap out, and there probably is a way to get to it inside the vehicle. However, it makes it a lot easier to switch out that module when you already have the headlight out, and the owner wants that headlight there with those functions, so we'll just go ahead and swap it out before we install it on the truck to make things easier. Next piece here that we're going to customize, and this is only going to be because we want to show you guys how to install these modules here, is we're going to swap out the stock DOT module for Morimoto supercharged module here. Now, all this is going to require is removing these 4 Phillips head screws, and then of course plugging in the new module. So let's go ahead and do that just to show you guys how it's done. However, we're not going to keep it for on-road use. I'm gonna go ahead and use a little plastic pry tool here to pop this thing free from the gasket. Now, there are a couple harnesses here that we're gonna have to disconnect. However, they should just pop right out here. Just like any other harness, just give them a good pull, give them a little squeeze, give them a little pull, and they pop right out. Now, Morimoto recommends using a little bit of grease with these modules here. The grease's main purpose is to just make sure that everything seals down correctly into the housing. Go ahead and plug in the plug and play module. Now, with that all there, just push the gasket down. Once the gasket's fully in place, we can go ahead and start screwing it in. Now, there's one last thing that we can modify here on the back of the headlights before we install them on the truck, and that is this harness here. Now, what this harness essentially controls is the auxiliary pods when the high beams are active, and those auxiliary pods are those Morimoto one-banger pods that I had previously talked about. Now, these come basically blocked off from Morimoto because they're not technically DOT legal for the high beams. However, if you're going to use your high beams in an off-road scenario, you go ahead and install what is this jumper here that Morimoto provides with the kit. Really easy to do. All you have to do is unplug that, plug in the jumper cable there, and now with that harness plugged in, you're going to have those one-banger pods work with the high beams. Now, before we install this on the truck, like I said, let's go ahead and swap out these supercharged drivers here. Now, like I talked about previously, Morimoto supplies 2 different sets of these harnesses here to plug into the main harnesses that come on the truck. Now, obviously, we are going to make sure that we plug in the correct set of harnesses to the truck here so that we can ensure proper function of the headlight. Now, you're definitely going to want to plug these harnesses into the truck before bringing over the headlight, so you're not sitting here juggling around the headlight and harnesses and all that fun stuff. Now, this bigger harness here should be same across the board. It's going to be this smaller one here that's going to differ between the 2 different trim levels of truck. Now, in Morimoto's instructions, they do have us block off this harness here as it's going to be no longer used in the headlight. So let's go ahead and grab the plug that Morimoto includes with these kits to block off this harness here. I almost forgot one last step here before we install the new headlights here. We're gonna go ahead and install these clips here that Morimoto provides in their kit. They basically just slide onto that top tab there and basically give that last locking place that the headlights need to be secure in the vehicle. So now, with everything fully assembled, we can go ahead and slap these headlights into their place. First things first, you can go ahead and plug in the Morimoto adapter harness here with the harness on the headlight. Next thing you're gonna wanna do here is plug in the harness for those daytime running lights, which goes in this little bottom piece here, just below the driver unit. Now with all the harnesses plugged in, we can go ahead and slide in that Morimoto unit into its forever home. Now all we have to do is reinstall all the hardware that holds in this housing into its unit. Now we just install the push pin here for the little piece. And there, we're all back together. Now all we have to do is repeat these steps on the passenger side. Now I will make the note that Morimoto states that these are pre-aimed from the factory. However, they do recommend pulling up against a flat surface and adjusting them to fine-tune them to their perfect spots. However, we're not going to be able to do that, obviously, because it's daytime out, but when it becomes a little darker here, we'll go ahead, point these at a wall, and do a little bit of fine-tune adjusting to get them perfectly aligned center and making sure we're not blinding other drivers, at least not because of our poor alignment of the headlights. Alrighty guys, and that is going to do it for the install of the all-new Morimoto XB series LED headlights for the 2009 to 2014 F-150. Now, if you guys have any questions or you want to grab a set of these headlights for yourself, feel free to click the link in our description. Feel free to reach out with us at 561-753-8105 or at support@lethalperformance.com. This has been Joe with Lethal Performance, and I'm out of here.